Hey everybody, today I'm bringing you footage from a remake of Diablo 2 made by a dedicated modder, eGod123. He has put a lot of work into this over several years. I think he's been working on it for at least 6 years and has made insane progress in that time. The only things you're going to need for this mod are a battle.net account because you need StarCraft 2, but StarCraft 2 is free to play. So after you've made your battle.net account, which can be done on the Blizzard website, you're going to go to starcraft2.com and then go down to play free now, click it, open up the file and execute it, and once it's finished installing, you'll be brought to this page, which is this battle.net client, and it'll have StarCraft 2 loaded and ready to play as soon as the download finishes, which the bar will appear around here. You should wait for it to fully finish. Like it'll stay playable and green at some point, but just let the download fully complete before playing it. So you're going to click play and launch the StarCraft 2 game and make sure you're logged in. And then you're going to click custom, arcade, and then search for either curse, which will make it show here, or curse of Tristram, which will make it the only one. And you're going to click on it, create lobby. And then just simply start game. You can get other people in here, but making it public usually won't get people in. I haven't had someone join. Anytime I've made it public, I've had to invite friends to play with them. So you're going to click start game and go from there. And we're going to get right on into it. Right now there are 2 character slots, both hardcore and softcore, and most of their characters have their skill tree set up to level 12. There are some skills missing, like the Assassin's Traps and some of the Sorceress elemental trees, but apart from that, it's pretty close. There's the 3 difficulty options, same as the original game, and to unlock each difficulty, you have to kill Andariel in that game's difficulty. But for now, we're just going to hop into normal, so I can just show off the basics of the game. I have both my character slots full, but eGod, the creator of this mod, is working on the 3rd character slot right now. I'm not sure if he's completed it or yet not, so we're just going to try and create another character. Okay, yeah, he hasn't quite finished it yet. So I'm just going to load one of my heroes I've made already, which is a Druid. Most of the models he's used are fairly close to basically just a HD version of what they are in the original game. Some of them are slightly different because there just isn't a close enough model to what they look like in the original game. But so we have the rogue, like companion, Kane, Wariv, Geed, Chassis. Most of them are pretty close. And basically every time the game loads in, you have to wait for some of the stuff to load, like the stash, the inventories, all of that stuff. But the path I decided to build on my druid is a shapeshifter druid, and I've decided to go werebear druid because the way eGod has set this game up is skill trees are now slightly different to how they were in the original game. They interact with different stats, stuff like that. So for example, werebear gains bonus attack damage, maximum life, and bonus defense. So my starting stats are 149 defense, 241 life, but if I transform into werebear, I now have 210 defense and 323 life. And then I also put a couple of points into Oak Sage, which gives you bonus life, so I now have 347 life, which is quite a decent amount for the level character that I have so far. All of the waypoints are still the same and they're all working, like Cold Plains, Catacombs, like all of this is working pretty well. The quests are working. I have completed all the quests in normal, so I can't show that off. The only thing that doesn't happen is they don't grey out, but it's not super important. It just shows the quest is completed down the bottom there. We'll just run out into the Blood Moor. The map is fully revealed. I think it's going to be pretty hard for him to add Fog of War, and it's not game breaking because the map is always the same anyway. It's going to be harder to get the maps to randomly generate each time. So basically, you're no matter what difficulty you go on or whenever you create a game, you're always going to know which way you need to go. You can tell what the enemies are by the picture. So this picture right here is going to be the Fallen. The picture down here is zombies. This further picture down is the Quill Fiends or the Spike Fiends. It always stays the same. And then it's still the same key. If you hold down Alt, you can pick up loot. The yellow circle on the minimap down the bottom left means that that is a Uber boss, which is a much stronger than normal enemy. It's there's still champion enemies like blue enemies, but this is just a strong enemy boss with a pack around him. So we're going to go check that boss out. It's a Spike Fiend boss, and it can teleport, and it shoots poison. We got a blue Sacred Globe out of it. I've already killed Andariel on normal, but we'll just run through each of the areas quickly just to show them off. To see what you can recognize out of it, perhaps. Down here we have the Den of Evil. I'm just going to skip through most of it because it's not going to give me too much experience. We can kill a couple of things there. That's the giant... I don't even remember what they were called in the original game. Fallen Shamans. Unfortunately, these sound like... when you don't one-hit them, they sound like Fallen when you hit them, but that's not a massive deal. And down right at the end of the cave here, we have Corpse Fire. And this game is different from the original. It's a remake, not a remaster. So the enemies have different attacks. Like Corpse Fire has an AoE fire attack. Like so. And Dariel's attacks are slightly different, that kind of thing. Portals are instant and free, but there is something like a 10-second cooldown on them, so you can't use it as basically if you just like panic teleport out and go back in right away, you won't be able to use the portal again for a while. The gloves aren't that good, unfortunately. Now onto the items before I head to Andariel. The item list is fairly similar to what we have before, but there are a couple of differences. So there is still blue items. Okay, let's see. The lowest level of items now, instead of white, even though white items show up on the ground, is blue. Every item that's white on the ground is instantly going to become a blue item as soon as it's in your inventory, and they're the items most likely to have basic stats, like these gloves. After that is so this is the magic level items. After that is rare level items, which are the yellow items. This is likely going to be the item you're going to have until you start gaining a bit more magic find and starting to get some slightly better gear. After rare items, we have set and or legendary items. A lot of the set items in this game have a lot of different affixes to them and a lot different set bonuses. Like this Cathin's set mail at 2 items has 25 magic find and you gain 8 fire damage on hit if you've got 2 items. And then on the same level of that is legendary items. So far I've got a couple of legendary items, but this is my favorite one because it has 30 magic find and 50 extra gold. And gold is pretty important in this game because you're going to be gambling a lot of gold early on to try and get some of your items from Geed.
Let's deal, my friend.
Like, it can get pretty expensive. Like, just the one shield is 200 gold, and the gold currently is capped at 200. The final level of item is Mythic. I currently do not have any Mythic items because you can only get them on the hardest difficulty, and you only start really seeing them at around 130 magic find, and I only have around 50 right now. So I need to get more magic find and play on the hardest difficulty. But the difficulties change a lot of things, which I will talk about a bit more later. So right now we're going to go check out a couple more of the bosses. We'll have a look at Blood Raven, the Smith, and then we'll go have a look at Andariel. So as you can see by the map, you can tell that Blood Raven and the Burial Grounds is down to the south because you can see the yellow circle on the minimap. So this is Blood Raven. Her attacks are slightly different. She has magical based arrow attacks, but she still summons minions, but I killed her a bit fast for her to do so, yeah. So that was Blood Raven. We're going to head over to the inner cloister. No, the outer cloister. And we're going to go check out the Smith. And my rogue already died somehow. Interesting. And as you can see by the minimap again, on the top left of the minimap is a golden circle, so we're going to head that way to fight the Smith. Kill a couple of these ads just because I don't want them doing too much damage to me. I'm not sure exactly what model he used for this, but this looks, I think it looks pretty good. So that's the Smith, and when you kill him, and you have the quest active, like if you don't have the quest active, it won't count towards the quest. So you have to pick it up from Chassis before you get to this area, then you just walk over to that little torch right over there, and it gives you the Roderick Malice. You don't have to give Chassis an item to get her to upgrade an item for you, but depending on your class, the item is probably not going to be that good. Like, if you're a Necromancer, it's going to give you a rare wand, but currently the only one that gives plus bonuses to Necromancer skills is a legendary wand. So it's likely not going to have very good stats for what you're looking for.
Greetings.
Alright, we're going to head to the Catacombs and fight Andariel. I think he found a pretty good model for her. As you can see, Andariel is to the top right, but she's actually down a level, but the way he set it up is that the stairs sort of teleport you around the map. That's annoying. I'm also playing on hardcore, so I have to be a bit careful because I don't want to lose the stuff that I've gathered up.
Greetings.
So I'll just heal up a little bit. Sell some of this, buy the useless mercenary back again. The mercenary is good if you already have some other things like a necromancer does, but she basically can't do much by herself. The only thing she is really good for is every now and then one of her arrows she sends out will put enemies to sleep, and this works on like end of act bosses as well. So she can put Andariel to sleep for I think it's 5 seconds, which is useful, but she can't take very many hits, so she's not as useful because of that. And my thing's dead again. That's unfortunate. He's got the fetishes looking pretty good, and the zombies are just the models out of Diablo 3, basically. The music is a bit short for the Andariel boss room, but
Greetings.
you know, it's nothing really major. It's not that much of a bother. Let's buy our recruit again. And clear out a bit of the ads before we fight Andariel. We're going to lure it back to the previous room anyway, but we want to clear out a bit of the ads regardless. Come on, Andariel. There's our Poison Nova. Wait, where are you going? Come on, Andariel. Oh, there goes our mercenary again. Hey, come on. Come on. There we go. The first time I played this game, I was playing a Necromancer, and that Poison Nova she just did right then, the circle, one-shot me, and I lost my Necromancer because I only played this on hardcore. It was quite unfortunate. And there goes Andariel. And as soon as you manage to do that, the next difficulty is permanently unlocked for all of your characters. So even if someone takes you through the game and kills Andariel for you on like a level 1 character, you instantly have the next difficulty unlocked. And we're going to jump into the next difficulty just to quickly show off some of the features of it. So if you accomplish all you want to in a game, all you have to do is click play again, and you'll be able to jump straight back in again. So we're going to start game. Someone is throwing all their matches on purpose. So first we're going to have a quick look at Heroic, and then we're going to take a quick look at Mythic afterwards, just to see the difference between normal, Heroic, and Mythic difficulties. Because this is a remake and not a remaster, eGod has changed the game slightly. So the first difference that is in harder difficulty is going to be World Curses. If they want to load. Okay, World Curses. So this is one of the World Curses. All missiles slowed. So all the shots coming out of your bows, all of your sorcerer skills, that kind of thing is all going to be slowed down for 2 minutes. These rotate every 2 minutes, but there are also a couple that last for just 10 or 15 seconds, which completely stops your melee attacks and completely stops your ranged attack. So basically either direction you won't be able to use that specific ability for 10 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. The other ones are reduce minion damage, your potions won't work, that kind of thing. So, or your armor's broken, so you have 0 armor, your resistances are removed, you have 0 resistances, and all this is on a rotating cycle of 2 minutes or 10 seconds if it's the remove attack or remove ranged attack. And that is the main difference, apart from you gain more magic find. And that's mostly it. It also says it when you're selecting the difficulty. So next we're going to check out Mythic difficulty. Mythic difficulty is the only difficulty where you're going to be able to find mythic items. The items are red in color. and some of them have some really nice stats. I unfortunately haven't found any, but I have seen some that some other people have found. Okay, so as you can see, we still have the world curses, but the next thing that happens in Mythic is world events. So we're just going to chill out in the Rogue Camp, the Bloodmoor for a little bit, until one of the world events happens. I don't want to be too far away because some of them are pretty dangerous. Some examples of the things that could happen: you can be stunned for 10 seconds. Giant pools of poison will be lying on the ground. A giant frost nova will happen. Corpse explosion, which has killed another one of my characters as I'm playing on hardcore, so I lost that character as well. And there's a couple of other events, like several portals will appear and minions will pour out of it, that kind of thing. So basically, it's just a much harder difficulty, and you want to bulk up your resistances before you do it. Like, I have good defense and good life, but my resistances are kind of poor. The main resistances you want to focus on are fire, toxic, and lightning, as there is next to nothing that actually uses cold. Like, a couple of the archers use cold arrows, and a couple of the enemies explode with a cold nova when you kill them, but you're going to want to focus on fire, toxic, and lightning. The main enemies that you're going to worry about are going to use toxic, as it's Act 1. Andariel uses toxic. Bone Ash, which is in the Citadel, is actually quite a tough monster in this mod, and you're going to want toxic resistance for that, as he uses massive poison explosions. And then the ghouls use those fireballs which fall on top of you, which is fire resistance. The Countess uses tracking fire ability, so you're going to get a fiery pillar explosion under your feet, so you're going to want fire resistance for her. And then lightning for Rakanushu, the I can't remember the name of them. The fiends, the lightning that shoot the lightning balls in the tunnels use lightning, and those are the main three resistances. So you can basically not worry about cold resistances and focus on the other three. You also want to focus, of course, on life and defense. I'm not sure. Okay, this is one of the world events here. So I'm just going to run around in case it's something that's striking. Okay, so that's the poison. So if I were to stand in that, I would almost instantly die. It is very hard hitting, especially if you have low poison resistance, which can go up to, I think, 85 or 90 in Mythic difficulty. So you have to be very careful of that. My stash is still loading, but each time you unlock a difficulty, you get to do all the quests again. So basically, before you face Andariel, if you have other difficulties unlocked, or have a friend that can help you unlock those difficulties, I'd suggest doing the Den of Evil on all three difficulties, just so you have those extra 3 skill points to give you a bit more of a fighting chance against Andariel. And that's pretty much it. I will save and quit and load in quickly just to show you what the mod says about the difference in difficulties. But apart from that, that's the gist of it. I'm really excited for this mod to be an open beta and really excited to see where EGOD takes it. And I know Act 2 is going to be coming fairly soon. It is about the person designing the map, as far as I know, is up to around the Fire Oasis in Act 2. So we just have to wait for that and for EGOD to implement it into the mod afterwards. So we're going to start the game again. Okay, for normal level, it doesn't say anything, but for regular level, strong enemies, better loot, and world curses, which I have already explained, which was those timed events down the bottom left corner. Mythic level, we have stronger enemies, better loot again, world curses, all bosses turn Uber, and world events. So all bosses turn Uber was what I was talking about before, how in the bottom left corner of normal difficulty we had that giant ghoul fiend. So it just means that all bosses are going to be a bit harder, stronger, and like hit a bit harder. So basically you have to be really prepared for Mythic level. I have done the Den of Evil on Mythic level on one character, but basically anytime a world event happened, I'd run into a town portal until the event ended just so I didn't die from it. Like, it's because I'm playing on hardcore. I would recommend making your first character on softcore just to get a feel for the game. So normal difficulty doesn't really have any bonuses, and I'd recommend first making your character on softcore, because even if you were a Diablo 2 veteran and you played hardcore all the time, there is enough different in this mod that I'd recommend you trying the mod out first on softcore just to get a feel for it. If you don't mind losing your characters, then that is fine. So the difference between difficulties, normal is just normal. Heroic has stronger enemies, better loot, and world curses. World curses were what I showed you before, the timed events on that 2-minute timer. And then Mythic, we have stronger enemies again, better loot again, world curses still, and world events, which was that poison that I was showing you before, and a few other ones, and all bosses turn Uber, which was that Quill Fiend that we fought on normal difficulty. That will happen to all regular bosses as well, like Corpse Fire, the Smith, that kind of thing. They will get even stronger. Their abilities that they have will get stronger, do more damage, cover a wider area. So I would only recommend doing Mythic when you have good defenses, good health, good resistances, because it is going to be quite challenging. And that's pretty much it. So if you would like to see me make guides for each of the characters, I will happily do so. Just leave a like, and I will leave all information about this mod, the creator, everything down below in the description. Thank you for watching, guys.